Hello, I'm Dr. Dennis McKenna. Welcome again to another edition of Inside Albany Med, and I'm so pleased today to be joined by Teresa Wyman, who is the Academic Coordinator for the Department of Family and Community Medicine. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. Yes, absolutely. I've been looking forward to this for a while because you're someone who's been here at Albany Med for quite some time now, yes, with a really rich history, and I think there's a lot that we can talk about. So let's start. When did you begin at Albany Med?
So I started here in June of 1990. I was working for the Senate in Albany. I moved here from Massachusetts and took a job. There was a federal grant to promote primary care, and it was a short-term, one-year grant, and my job was to come and connect students with primary care physicians in the community and try to promote primary care. And I thought I would be here 1 year and move on to something else, and that never happened.
So you're here 34 years later.
Yes.
1990, I was a medical student here.
Yes.
There's no stories that you want to tell,
None.
right? Okay,
None.
That's good. That's a good thing. I graduated in 1992, so I was here for a short time when you began. Your role today is, talk about your role and what you do.
It's hard to explain because it's a little bit of everything, and I think it's unique. I don't think there's a job like mine here in the institution. A little bit of a unicorn. I like that. I love working for family and community medicine. Again, the idea of coming in and connecting students to primary care and getting them excited about the specialty, working with service learning and connecting them out in the community.
For those who don't know what that is, service learning. Talk a little bit about what that means as far as the students here, and we're talking about the medical students.
Yes.
Out in the community working with other not-for-profits whose mission is aligned with Albany Med.
Yes. So in the Department of Family Medicine, we have 7 programs that are considered service learning. It's different than basically volunteering, but it's really going out and getting to know your community, work in your community, understand what their maybe social determinants of health are, maybe what their needs are, and then addressing that need. And medical students, I've learned over the years, are incredibly equipped to do that with their enthusiasm, their passion, and many of them come with skills before they came to med school, and they're able to put that into practice. And so some of our alums, like Dr. Bob Paglo, has a Care from the Start program. Our students will go work at his program. We work at South End Children's Cafe. We work with families with RISE, new refugee families, and it just exposes our medical students to the opportunity, their future patients, to better understand their future patients, and our students have an incredible impact on those communities that they serve. So they are required at Albany Med to do service learning. Right. Some of it is done through the Division of Community Outreach that we partner with and collaborate with, and then 7 of them are run through our department under the direction of Dr. Kate Wagner. And I think it's just something that is what keeps me in Family Med. I love being part of that connection and having students get to know Albany, care for their patients.
You've mentioned a couple names already. Dr. Bob Paglo, of course, is somebody who graduated from Albany Medical College. You mentioned Dr. Kate Wagner. We should also throw in Dr. Annie Rutter, who is now running our medical college.
Yes.
These are individuals who you have seen come through as medical students and then in the residency program, and then obviously have taken significant roles both on this campus and in the community. Can you talk about what that's like to kind of see them through that professional journey they take and the role that you play in helping them with that?
I think it's why I can't leave Albany Med. I love being part of that process. Yesterday was such a unique day. I was saying, watching you and Dr. Boulos and Dr. Rutter and Dr. Wagner speak to all of the first-year medical students, it was unique for me because I got to see all of those people kind of go through medical school and then spend the afternoon with the new first years over at the park, getting to know them. That journey of medical school is just amazing. I love, working with Dr. Bob and Dr. Rutter and Dr. Wagner, seeing them as first-year students kind of coming in. They don't know what they want to do.
That's right.
We work with a lot of students that don't do family medicine, of course, but when they do choose family medicine, I love being a part of connecting them. I feel like what my if I have a superpower, my superpower is connecting them with alums who are doing, if they're interested in sports medicine, I know an alum in California that I can connect them with. If they are interested in women's health or they want to do global health, finding those alums from Albany Med and connecting them. And as you know, our alumni are just so generous.
They are.
With time and attention, and they really want to help those students that are interested in their specialty.
And it's important for people to recognize that we have medical students. They all have a, quote, required rotation in community and family medicine, of course. But then in addition to that, they also do, some go on to choose to do specialty training in that for those 3 years. And you see them in both areas. Back to your superpowers, I think you probably have multiple superpowers. Now, the audience may not be able to see this, but right behind you on the wall, it says Albany Medical Center Employee of the Year. That belongs to you. What year did you win that?
2005, I believe. You will have to do a fact check. And it was an incredible honor. For those that don't know, Albany Med surprises you, and they don't tell you that.
That's right.
So there was a whole background of our chair, Dr. Mitnick, and everyone getting me there. But it was an amazing, amazing experience. And I think what I appreciated the most was it gave our department an opportunity to talk about what we do in family med and what we were proud of, and I felt like it was able to shine a light on the whole department, and that felt really good.
Well, that's very selfless of you to turn what is really an individual recognition into the department that you've worked in here since 1990. But that's obviously what we would expect from somebody who's the Employee of the Year. You mentioned Dr. Neil Mitnick, another great leader,
Yes.
somebody who I know outside of work has an interest that you have an interest in, which is dogs.
Yes.
And I know that Dr. Mitnick, because my mother and he in the past have done some work together with dogs.
He will always talk about dogs.
That he will. And this is an interest and passion of yours as well.
So we just recently adopted a new puppy through Homeward Bound, which is local, and got more involved and have started fostering dogs. We just did our first one, our first foster, as we were coordinating the pickup. Come to find out, the dog was being adopted, Hank, by Jill, who works here in our center, and she was the adopted mom. So
Jill Spadaro over in
yes.
our communications department.
Yes. So
That's wonderful. See, it's a family.
It is a family, and seeing the work that Albany Med employees do and having those friendships was great. And now Jill and I are forever connected as adopted co-parents.
Will you ever go over and visit Hank?
Yes, we have a play date scheduled.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So I encourage anyone who is hoping to adopt a dog to, maybe adopt and contact the local shelters, because there's so much need.
There sure is. In fact, my brother recently, and he adopted a dog from a shelter as well. So it's a great opportunity for people. When we think about the title, Department of Family and Community Medicine, we can think about family, we can think about community. We're talking about both.
Right.
But family is something that I know is important to you, and in fact, your family has been at many different parts of our campus over many years. Do you care to talk about that?
That's true. When I came here in 1990, I had my daughter in 94 and my son in 92, and they both went all the way through Kidskeller from about 3 months through kindergarten. So they were kind of part of the Albany Med family. It used to be known as Kidskeller.
And we've interviewed Sharon Wood here before, and it's a great program.
Yeah, it was a great program, and it was so convenient for me as an employee to know, and got to know a lot of coworkers and colleagues who also had their kids there. So that was a lovely community. And then over the years, my daughter worked as a standardized patient in the PSCC when she was in college, and then she was working for patient relations for a while she was in college. And then my son just recently took a job here as a caseworker. So
that's fantastic.
It's kind of a family
affair
for sure.
Well, both of those are very important roles for us. Our standardized patients, as we know, over in the college where you are, important part of the education for all of our learners, from medical students all the way through faculty here. That's amazing. And of course, our caseworkers, very important as far as our ability to take care of the needs of the patients here. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And it's, I'm proud that they got to see Albany Med in so many different ways over the years.
Let's go back. You talked about service learning, and you mentioned there's 7 different ones the department is sponsoring. Very important. And you named a couple of them as well, including Dr. Bob's Clinic and some other areas where people work with refugee populations. There's also another very special project that is over the ocean that you have been very significantly involved in. I think many people here know about this, but many don't. It's something that we should be incredibly proud of. Talk about that, if you wouldn't mind.
So Engay Health Clinic, I'm very proud of, and I actually just stepped down as president July 1st, but I am still on the board of directors, as are many Albany Med alum who have joined us over the years. But Engay was started by a second-year medical student here at Albany Med with a little Dr. Bob connection, as always, and Where is it located? It's located in Uganda, and this medical student at the time had volunteered before medical school with a small community that didn't have any health care. Basically walked into this office and said, you know, I inherited $30,000 from my grandmother, and I'm going to build a clinic in Uganda. Do you know anyone that can help me?
And what year was this, approximately?
This was probably around 2006.
And the medical student's name at the time?
Stephanie Van Dyke.
Stephanie Van Dyke, medical student at Albany Med, inherited $30,000.
Yes.
And her first impulse was, I want to open up a clinic in Uganda.
Yes.
How can you help me, Teresa?
And I connected her with Dr. Bob and started making plans. A bunch of medical students and their parents got involved. It was completely grassroots.
Of course.
Medical students and their parents literally dug the foundation of Engay Health Clinic. Since that time, you know, it started kind of as a backpack medicine, not a great global health model, and we've learned and grew. And since that time, we've had about 18 medical teams from Albany Med. I've been 15 times myself. Go between Family Med, a lot of Med Peds, Dr. Joe Wayne, Dr. Shelley Asher is going in about 4 weeks.
She mentioned that to me.
Yes.
She's excited.
We've had several teams, and I'm just so proud. It incorporates so many of our alumni. I have gone on these trips with alums from 32 years ago, from 20 years ago. The trip that I have in January, you will know some of the names, Dr. Sean Roach, Dr. Kate Wagner, and then some of our alums that graduated that are PGY3s. I have 2 OBGYNs joining the Family Med. We've had volunteers from Peds, Med Peds, Radiology, OB, Dr. Alicia Wazulis, just the outstanding, incredible folks. Would love to make a spot for you.
I'd love to
if
come.
You're ready to go.
Sean Roach is my cousin. Maybe I'll go over with him.
Well, you know
together.
what? I know someone that could make that happen. So I'm really proud of the connection that Albany Med has had with this small community. The people that have sponsored students through our education program, we have 2 students that are now in medical school, 1 in pharmacy school, the impact that they've had on this community. I credit Dr. Bob for inviting me the first time and saying, you know, I need you to come. I didn't even have a passport. I'd never been out of the country. My first trip out of the country was rural Uganda.
Incredible.
And it was a life changer. And
well, you're a life changer. And again, I think this is why I love these videos so much, because every single day we walk past people in the hallway, and I think about some of the other videos we've done, and we've learned some of their stories and the impact they have not only here on this campus. Many of them impact our community. You're impacting, you know, internationally. And I guarantee there will be people who you will stop in the next few weeks after they see this video and they'll say, I had no idea, first of all, that Albany Med did this, and secondarily that you were involved in this. But once again, I think it's an incredible story, not only about what type of medical students we attract to Albany Med, but also the opportunities that we give them and the support and how the faculty can help and our alumni can help, and how it's like one of those things that continues to give. And let's be honest, the care that's needed in Uganda, I'm sure, is extreme. And just the fact that people are willing to go over there, volunteer their time, often fundraise to get over there, is something that I think Albany Med and the Albany Med community should be incredibly proud of.
I agree.
And you should be very proud. So congratulations. Now, you're no longer the president, but I assume you'll still be involved in some
I'm still on the board of directors, and I'm still on the education committee, but We have a new outstanding president of the organization, but our Albany Med alum, I always go back to that, but serve on the board of directors. There's several members as well as many of the committees. So they share their knowledge and their education with this incredible clinical staff that's in Uganda.
If we focus on the word community, there's another area. We've mentioned certain places that you've already been involved in. There's one I know that's very important to you. In fact, you organize the efforts, you lead them for us on the campus. It's something that's very important to us, and it's called Neighbors in Need. Yes. Talk a little bit about Neighbors in Need.
Yeah, so Neighbors in Need, I think for me is the opportunity to see the best of Albany Med. I always want to thank Dr. Mitnick because he allows me to really focus on that extensively through November and December, and it's started as a small program to support some of the community programs that we support, like Koinonia Primary Care, Unity House, Domestic Violence Shelter, some other organizations, the Damien Center that we partner with. And over the years it has grown. We just celebrated our 30th year this year doing it. And it is an all hands on deck program here at Albany Med. It's not just Family Med, even though it's coordinated out of here. And we this year adopted, I think it was 127 families through our own EAP program, and then impacted over 1,000 children in the community on the wider scale.
And so the 120, those were our own employees and their families, which is wonderful that we can support them.
So our employees adopted families of our own employees through EAP, and just provided incredible, magical holidays. I wish everyone could be a part of seeing the impact that they have. And then out in the wider community, we adopt individual children with a wish and a need, and it's our employees that come together. And thanks to Amazon, now you can also shop online, and then it gets delivered directly to the caseworkers. So it's just a really important, impactful opportunity for this institution. And I just don't think that everybody realizes how generous the employees are, how much they care. And they give of themselves every year, and every year the numbers get higher, and I think we'll never be able to do it, and we always do. Everyone comes through, so I'm really proud of that program.
I am very proud of it too, and I would say our workforce is incredibly generous, and we see that in so many ways, whether it be the service learning programs, the volunteerism in the community. As we say, they give of their time, they give of their talent, they give of their treasure. And you said something very interesting to me, which is that you're not sure that everybody knows about that.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you one thing people are going to know about, which is about you and the incredible role you play here, not only in the education of our learners, but really making our region healthier and safer and better for a lot of different vulnerable populations, which is something you should be incredibly proud of, as well as the work you've done over in Uganda. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor to speak with you.